Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about intelligent women and how they communicate with men. A lot of people think being intelligent is about showing off knowledge or proving you're the smartest in the room. But real intelligence is knowing how to get your point across in a way that makes a man stop, listen, and respect you. See, when a woman is truly smart, she understands that every word she says carries weight. She knows when to speak and when to let silence do the talking. She doesn't waste her energy on screaming, nagging, or trying to win every little argument. Instead, she uses her calm, collected voice like a weapon. Because a calm woman with the right words is far more powerful than one who loses control. Intelligent women know the power of words and timing, and that is what makes their conversations stand out. They understand that the right words at the right moment can open doors, shape relationships, and set boundaries that no man can ignore. They are not careless with their speech because they know every word is either building their value or weakening it. When a woman speaks with wisdom, her words stick like glue in a man's memory, and he carries them even after she has stopped talking. That is why intelligent women don't just speak to fill silence. They speak to be heard, to be understood, and to leave an impression that lasts. The truth is, men can hear many voices throughout the day, but the one they remember is the one that carries both confidence and calmness. Intelligent women understand this and never let emotions overpower their delivery. They know that the message is not only in what they say, but also in how they say it. A calm voice, steady tone, and clear choice of words make a man pay attention. She doesn't need to shout or repeat herself 10 times because she chooses her timing so carefully that when she speaks, she already has his full attention. This sense of timing is what separates intelligent women from others. They don't bring up serious issues when a man is distracted, angry, or unprepared to listen. They wait until he is open, until the moment is right, and then they strike with precision. It is not about manipulation. It is about wisdom. They know that saying the right thing at the wrong time makes the words fall flat, but saying the right thing at the perfect moment makes the message unforgettable. That is how they turn conversations into powerful tools. Intelligent women also know that words have energy. Once spoken, they cannot be taken back. And that is why they never waste them on meaningless arguments or hurtful insults. Instead of tearing down, they lift up the conversation to a higher level. Instead of throwing accusations, they ask thoughtful questions. Instead of attacking, they express themselves in a way that forces a man to think, not react. That is the difference between creating conflict and creating clarity. A smart woman doesn't waste her words on proving she is right. She uses her words to make sure she is understood. Timing also plays a role in what they don't say. Intelligent women know that silence is part of communication too. They understand that sometimes saying nothing is more powerful than giving a long explanation. They know that silence can create space for reflection. And in that silence, a man has no choice but to think about his actions. Words delivered too quickly can lose their impact, but silence used wisely can make a man realize more than any speech ever could. Intelligent women use this balance of words and silence to create an authority that demands respect. There is also a discipline in how they carry themselves while speaking, They don't rush. They don't fumble. They don't get lost in emotional storms. They breathe. They pause. And they deliver their thoughts like someone who values every syllable. This self-control shows strength, and men can sense it. It tells them this woman is not desperate to be heard. She is confident enough to wait until her words matter. That confidence shifts the entire dynamic of the conversation, because when a woman shows she values her words, a man is forced to value them too. The power of timing in words is not about outsmarting a man. It is about elevating the interaction. Intelligent women know that speaking at the wrong moment can close doors, but speaking at the right moment can open hearts. They don't rush to be understood. They wait for the right conditions, where understanding becomes inevitable. They don't waste their words trying to change a man who is not ready, but they place their words at a time when he cannot ignore them. That is why their voices linger long after the conversation is over. That is why men walk away replaying their words in their minds, questioning their choices, and realizing they are dealing with a woman who is operating on a higher level. Intelligent women know that conversations are not about winning battles, but about building understanding. They don't get caught up in the trap of proving they are smarter, louder, or stronger in an argument. They realize that winning an argument and losing respect is not success at all. Their goal is not to dominate the conversation, but to create a bridge where both sides can truly hear each other. That is why when they talk to men, they don't raise their voices to crush him. They raise the quality of their words to reach him. That difference in approach changes everything, because men respond far better to being understood than being defeated. When a woman is intelligent, she knows that constant arguing only creates resistance. The more a person feels attacked, the less they listen. So she avoids going down that road. She speaks in a way that softens defenses instead of triggering them. She doesn't pile on accusations or throw endless complaints. Instead, she expresses her thoughts with clarity, calmness, and purpose. The intention behind her words is not to prove a point, but to create a shift. That is why her words penetrate deeper. Instead of saying, "You never do this," she might say, "It makes me feel this way when this doesn't happen." By shifting the focus from attack to expression, she makes space for understanding rather than resistance. Men respect this kind of communication because it is rare. Too often, conversations turn into shouting matches where both sides are so focused on winning that they forget the purpose of communication is connection. Intelligent women don't make that mistake. They approach every serious discussion with the mindset of being heard, not of scoring points. They know that a man may not always remember every word they say, but he will never forget how the conversation made him feel. If she speaks with calmness and respect, even while addressing something difficult, he walks away with respect for her, and that respect makes him more likely to listen the next time. This way of speaking also demonstrates strength. A lot of people think yelling or dominating an argument shows power, but true power is in maintaining composure. An intelligent woman doesn't let anger take control of her tongue. She knows anger can win a fight in the moment, but lose the relationship in the long run. By staying calm and controlled, she shows that she values the relationship more than her ego. That kind of discipline is not weakness, It is the highest form of strength. Another thing intelligent women understand is that communication is not one-sided. Speaking to be understood also means listening to understand. They don't go into conversations ready with a wall of words. They listen, they pause, they take in what is being said. That doesn't mean they agree with everything, but it means they are willing to hear the other perspective before responding. This simple act of listening changes the entire energy of the conversation. It takes it from confrontation to collaboration, and that is when progress happens. By choosing understanding over winning, intelligent women also set boundaries without creating unnecessary conflict. They can say no without being harsh. They can disagree without being disrespectful. They know that it's possible to be firm without being cruel. Their tone, their choice of words, and their patience all work together to send the message, I respect myself, I respect you, but I will not compromise on what truly matters. Men recognize this balance and often respond with more maturity than they would in a heated argument. The greatest power of speaking to be understood is that it lingers. A man may ignore shouting, but he can't ignore wisdom calmly spoken. Arguments fade from memory because they are filled with emotion and noise.